There we go. I think I got it all set now. If you have your strap, great. We will do some work with a strap today. If not, that's fine too. I figured we'd start standing, doing a quad stretch. So if you want, you can hold on to a wall or something nearby and stretch your quads. Totally up to you. If you want to work your balance, even better. But just make sure you can have good form, and let's go ahead and get into a nice deep quad stretch. We're going to work today on opening up the front of the hips, pelvis, and glutes, along with the low back. So if you want some extra balance, grab a wall or a chair or something nearby. But lift the chest, lift the chin, pull that leg back and stretch. And just breathe, getting your heels close to your backside as you can. Great, bring that foot down, switch legs. Bring the other one up towards your backside. Again, keep the chest lifted, everything nice and tall. Both feet down, about hip distance apart. Bring those hands up overhead and then forward fold, stretch the hamstrings. Come back up slowly. Bring those arms up. And then again, with your breath, fold forward. Oh, I have a little helper coming. Hey, aren't you gonna watch your music? And then roll back up. As you come up, take your hands up over your head, feet out wider. Lace your fingers together and just come to the right and the left. And as you're doing that, extending the arm so you're rooting down through the foot. So I'm pushing down through my right foot and really lifting my right arm up and over, stretching the whole side of my body, and then gently doing the same thing coming to the left. And then the same thing, come back to the right and the left. Good, and then let your hands come down by your sides, take them behind your back. You're gonna leave your feet in the same position here, nice and wide, wider than your hips. And you're gonna push the arms down and away and then slowly fold forward. Tipping that tailbone up and letting your head and everything hang down toward the floor. Let those arms come up as far as they can. And then slowly bend your knees, kind of scooping your tailbone under. And come back up. Good. We're going to come back to where our feet are, straight down from our hips. And we're going to cycle back to that quad stretch that we did, except we're going to do it with the other hand. So I'm going to do my right leg with my left hand coming across. So again, if you want to hold on to a wall, or if you want to rest your arm on a chair or something to help with your balance. But what I want you to do is lift your chest, kneecap down, and think about getting really long through the front of your head. Great. Take that foot down, switch legs and arms actually. So again, really long. long through the front of your hip, pushing your knee down toward the floor, chest up toward the ceiling. Good. Both feet down. We're going to cross one foot over the other. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to bring my right foot across my left. And so my weight is predominantly going to stay on my left foot, although I'm going to rest my right one on the ground as well. But the majority of my weight, I would say it's probably 70% of my weight is on my left foot, about 30% on my right foot. And I'm just going to reach my hands forward, folding from the hips, coming down toward the floor. This one's a little harder with my belly, but just let your body hang as much as it can toward the floor. I've not said it's the best example of good form. Good. And then slowly come back up. Switch. So what we're going to do is uncross, and I'm going to put about 70% of my weight in my right leg, about 30% on the left, and I'm going to come forward again, reach for my toes. Good, and then slowly come back up here. Good. Bring those hips, or feet, about hip distance apart, so right underneath of you. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to do a forward fold, and one at a time we're going to bring the heel up and bend the knee, pushing the other foot further back, so kind of like we're bicycling, pushing one up, one down as we're doing our forward fold. So hip distance apart, fold forward from the hips, reaching for the floor, and then bringing one knee forward, heel up, pushing the other one further back, and remembering to keep that tailbone tipped up toward the ceiling. Good, a couple more. Great, and then round your back, gently rolling back up. Good, we're gonna come out, feet really wide apart, much wider than our hips. And what we're gonna do is shift. We'll do the left side first, because it's probably gonna be a little easier, or a little bit easier to ease into, I guess. So we're gonna stretch the right inner thigh, and we're gonna just fold forward right to the middle here. And then what we're gonna do is bend the left knee and bring the hands out and around and lower hips and pelvis straight toward the ground here. Just hold this stretch. Good, and then shift it the other way. So we're gonna walk over toward the right foot, bending the right knee, straightening the left, sinking that the hips and pelvis straight down toward the floor. Good, and come back to the middle. Walk your hands out in front just a little bit, and I want you to push your heels down, hips back, and tailbone up. While you're pushing into the floor, in front of you. Good, and then bring your hands back so that they're back on your mat or back where they should be, right underneath your shoulders. And we're gonna come back over to that left foot and we're gonna walk our hands over, bending the left knee. But what we're gonna do this time is turn the right foot so the toes turn up. And hold there, because I'm sure you feel it. I know I do. And breathe. Keep breathing. Great. And then come back up. Roll that foot flat again on the right. Hands in the middle. And we're going to walk ourselves over to the right foot. So we're bending the right knee, straightening the left. And we're going to take that left foot, heel down, turn the toe up, and sit back into it. And be patient, just kind of embrace the discomfort here. Good, and then let's come out of this one. So put the foot flat, straighten the right, feet back in the middle. We're gonna walk our hands out in front again. We're gonna push into the floor, hips back, heels down, and just really stretch through the back of our legs here. Good, and then walk those hands up. And we're gonna kind of wiggle our feet closer together as we come up to standing. So standing up, your hips should already feel a little bit different. Might be good different, might be bad different, but just different. It doesn't matter, my helper's back. It doesn't matter how they feel right now because we're not done, right? We're not done. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is turn our toes out. So we're gonna come into a nice kind of stretch for the inner thigh, hip opener here. So toes out, feet are kind of still underneath the head. And we're gonna come into a really deep squat. Now, if you feel like you're limited in your range of motion, walk your feet out a little bit wider. What are you doing? You're gonna put your elbows on the inside of your knees, just like this. And all we're gonna do is push out with our elbows and drop our bottom as close as we can toward the mat. Pushing out with the knees. And then if you want, you can just twist a little bit, or sort of almost like you're rocking. No, sir. Mm-mm. Good. And just hold where you feel it, where you can rock. Go watch your music. Good. Put your hands back. Go watch your music. And start to stand up. Turn your toes forward. And then just gently come back up. And again, hips should feel different. Maybe not good yet, but just different. We're gonna get a little deeper into our stretch. Caleb, absolutely not. Stop. Into our stretch, into our hip flexors. So this is gonna be distracting. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot hold you right now. You can stretch with me. What we're gonna do is come onto one knee here. Caleb, come here. Come here. One knee, foot back here. I'm going to lunge or lean forward until I feel just a slight pull through the front of my hip, not pain, just a slight pull. So after you come into that position here, and just hold for a second, you're gonna bring the same arm up. So that's my left leg. I'm gonna bring that left arm up and reach as high as I can and sort of almost arch my back a little bit. And I'm gonna tighten my glute at the same time. Nice deep breaths. Then I'm going to bring that left arm across my right knee here. So I'm bringing it across. And I'm going to twist, turning around the opposite direction. Lifting my chest still. Good. And then I'm going to come back up with that arm. In fact, if you can, bring both arms up and lean forward a little bit more. Separate your hands. Bring both hands down around your foot that's in front here. Curl those back toes under and lift that knee off the ground. And slowly lower the pelvis down toward the mat, toward the floor. And breathe. Good. Knee down, uncurl those toes, both feet back, and we're going to come into child's pose. So knees apart, feet or heels together, and sit back. Good, and we're going to get the other side now. So I'm going to bring my left leg forward, and I'm going to leave my right knee bent just like this. Coming back up, so one side will always feel a little tighter than the other, totally normal. You're going to come forward just a little bit and just hold. Likely you feel a little bit of pull through the front of your hip there. So just hold it and breathe. And bring that arm, same arm, so my right leg, right arm up. Lift the chest and tighten up the glutes. Good, bring that right arm across the knee that's in front and twist just a little bit. Good, and if you can, bring that arm back up and bring the other one with it. You can bring them up together. Lift the chest, arch the back just a little bit. Stretch, 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 and hold. Good, and then just separate the hands, fold forward. Bring one hand around each side of your foot here. Curl those back toes under and lift that back knee off the ground. And drop the hips and pelvis straight down toward the floor, keeping your spine and your chest, spine long and your chest forward. So not rounding, nice long spine. breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Drop that knee down. We're going to go back into child's pose. So hips back towards your heels. Belly between your knees. You can stretch your arms out in front or rest your head on them. Good. Straight from this one, you're going to come back onto hands and knees. And we're going to do a nice cobra stretch here. So don't come up too far, but go ahead and walk yourself down. You can come onto your forearms if you want and do a nice cobra stretch, or you can stay on your hands and just drop the hips down. Stretch. Good. Push back up onto hands and knees. Let's do a little mobility for that spine here. So make sure that you're comfortable. If you need to put something under your knees, you can. I know we've been on our knees for a little bit. We're going to do a couple of cat-cow stretches here. So just rounding and arching the back with our breath. Come up and round with an inhale and arch with an exhale. Great, and let's come back into that cobra stretch here. So walking your hands forward a little bit and your knees back, dropping the hips down, lifting your chest. Great, and then pushing back up onto hands and knees. We're going to come into seated here. And we'll use our strap a little bit. So we'll start with the hamstring stretch just because we want to get a little bit of a deeper stretch in those hamstrings. But we're not going to hold it for long. Take the strap if you have one and you can put it around your foot. Or if you don't have one, then just walk your hands out towards your feet, towards your toes. And if they get to your knee and you start to feel that knee coming up, then you've gone too far. So make sure you keep that leg nice and flat. Both hands on the strap or both hands on the legs, chest up, shoulders back, and come forward from your hip. We want to keep the foot flexed, toes up, and we're going to push out through the heel, imagining that we're going to lengthen the entire back side of our leg, all the way up into our glutes. Come on back up and switch feet. So try and slide the toes of your other foot into the strap here. And again, both hands, whether you have a strap or not, we're going to walk out with both hands. Release your strap for a minute. We're going to take both legs out, and what we're going to do, you can do it with your breath or slowly or as fast as you feel comfortable. We're going to take both legs out, flexing the feet, and from right here, our toes usually roll back. So I want you to just grab your thigh from the front and the back and turn it forward or pull it toward the front so that your toes stay up. and that we get a little bit higher up on our sit bones. And then what we're going to do is reach for one side, bringing the other arm up and over. And switch. So going back and forth at your own pace. You can move with your breath, or you can move a little faster or slower. Just see what feels good for your body. For me, it just feels good to hold a couple of seconds, 3 to 5 on each side. It also helps keep my breathing slow and steady. This is a good time to practice slowing your breath and being mindful of it. One more on each side. Great. Bring the soles of your feet together here. You can kind of rock up onto your sit bones a little bit more. And what we're going to do is just hold the feet and bring the chest forward as far as we can. Come on back up. We're going to leave one foot in this same position here. So what I'm going to do is take my left leg and turn it the other way so that my right foot, the sole of my right foot, rests on my thigh here, and my left leg is coming out to the side just like this. I'm going to sit up really tall and twist my body to the right, lifting my chest as tall as I can. And then twisting back around. I'm going to do the same thing when I turn my left foot back in like we were soles of our feet together. I'm going to turn my right one back here to the side so that my left foot is resting right on the top of my right thigh. I'm going to twist to my left this time, lifting my chest. So twisting basically in the same direction of your knees. Good. Coming back to the center here, we're going to extend both legs out in front, taking the strap one more time around both of our feet. And lift up tall. You're going to bring the ends of the strap together if you have it, or if you don't, you can just walk your hands out on your legs and coming as far as you can towards your toes, keeping your feet flexed and your knees need to be completely straight. So even if that means you can barely come half an inch, just hold wherever you can hold. And breathe. Set it off to the side. We're going to do just one more stretch for our spine, a little bit of mobility. Across one leg over the other, it doesn't matter which one, but whatever leg you cross, you're going to turn in that direction. So I cross my right leg, I'm going to turn to the right. So I'm going to take my right hand back, left hand on the knee, and turn. come back to the center. Great, we're gonna uncross that side, and cross the other one, turn the other way. So my left leg is crossed, I'm gonna turn to my left. Good. Back to the center. Nice deep breath. That'll wrap us up for today. So hopefully when you stand up and move around, your hips and glutes and everything feel